So this is the third and final installment of Project SloKart, and here I've loaded up the SloKart into the four-wheel drive, ready to go onto the rural property. Perfect fit, and yeah, so once it got there, it was time for the very first test drive, and it was, I've got to say, a bit scary. It's all downhill from here. So here it is at 100% power, and stick it into drive. Make sure the power is on low. 3 settings to pick from. So all the initial test drives were in low power to see how much it could do in low power before exploring what happens when you up the power. So downhill it runs a treat. And through the bush, no problem at all. Suspension worked quite well. Pulling a trailer full of firewood up a steep hill, again, no problem. And that's the archery range in the background. And without the trailer, just putting a whole lot of very heavy wood just on the back of the SloKart. And I want to see how it would go uphill in full power with the full load of wood on the back. And that's a pretty steep hill. And let's just say it had no problems at all. Actually, there's no telling there was any difference between having the load on the back or not having the load on the back, except for one really telling issue, which I didn't take into account when I designed this thing. The rear axle was not too far behind the driver, so with a load of firewood almost similar to the weight of the driver on the rear tray, it was a little bit, a bit of a wheelie monster, let's just say. You can see it here when you really put your foot down. The front wheel lifts clean off the ground. There it is, just not even rotating, just flying off the ground. So not ideal. The solution would be to extend the arms, the trailing arms that lead to the rear axle, about another 10 centimeters to stop this from happening. Otherwise I would have had to reverse up every hill every time I had a load on the back, because it's just not steering, it's flying through the air. So here it is with the modification, and right about there I snapped the transmission input shaft completely off. So the problem was the coupling between the motor and the transmission was far too stiff, and so I had to replace the coupling with something like this, a spider coupling. So it's got a little rubber section in the middle, so that it's almost a cardan joint, where it can absorb a whole lot of the shock and the loads from between the motor and the transmission, so that it wouldn't snap. So here's the final setting. And right about here, I lose the chain off the drive. Yeah, teething problems. You can see the chain behind the SloKart there. So it's just a quick link chain, and I don't think I put the quick link on properly. So once that was sorted out, it hasn't had any problems since. It's been running for about 3 weeks now. I think the longest I've had it going is about 2 hours in a day. And that took it to maybe 50% of battery life. So the battery could have certainly been smaller. I had no idea it would run for such a long time, and it certainly doesn't need to. I hope this has been entertaining and maybe educational. Thanks for watching.